Hello and welcome to the Just Drive News. I'm absolutely thrilled to see you all in front of your screens. I'm Mathis and today I am talking about a little Frenchman and his great-grandfather, the traffic of the future, and a pair of glasses that cost as much as a small car and that are supposed to make driving safer. But at first, we turn our heads to the Far East. I don't know which direction. Yeah, and when we've done that, we do it a little bit further. That's right, we look at China. Because there, official pictures of the new Volkswagen ID.6 have surfaced, a large sedan with a crossover look related to the ID.4. The 4.88 meter long 5-door 7-seater is characterized by generous space and a certain stylistic opulence. The headlights and front mask of the Touareg-size car are even more striking than on the ID.4, and the flanks have a sweeping design. The familiar 204 horsepower electric drive will provide propulsion at the market launch, and the model kit would allow further power levels. A European launch is conceivable, but there are currently no concrete plans. Priority here in Europe is the ID.4 GTX with 306 horsepower and all-wheel drive. And the ID.5 is also to be launched, a derivative of the ID.4 with a coupe look and a generously glazed rear door. Even in driving school, we learn that anticipatory driving is the key. But in this term, of course, you can understand that you should be cautious and consider what happened. But of course, when driving, you should also look ahead and not get distracted. Unfortunately, this happens all the time and not just through the dating app on your phone. There are also many sources of distraction in the vehicle itself, and it's important to minimize them. But how? And what needs to be changed? To find that out, developers at SEAT are now using eye-tracking glasses. These are glasses that look almost like normal glasses, but they can record every movement of the eye. On the computer, you can later see where the test subjects looked, for how long and in what sequence. I've been able to test such glasses myself, and I think it's an interesting topic in any case. After all, despite all the technology and entertainment, a car should be one thing above all: easy to drive. So, in my eyes, it's absolutely important to look at how you design the interior to avoid distractions as much as possible. I just wonder why this technology is only being used now and not much earlier. What do solar parks from the Dubai desert have to do with BMW engines? When you hear it like that, you don't think of the connection at first. But aluminum production requires a lot of electricity. And a lot of electricity consumption also means a poor CO2 balance. That's why in 2021 alone, the Munich-based company will be sourcing 43,000 tons of aluminum for its engines and car bodies from Emirates Global Aluminum, among others. And they in turn get their electricity from these solar parks in the Dubai desert. So I hope that when the two companies deliver these 43,000 tons of aluminum, they also think about how to get it from Dubai to Munich in the most climate-friendly way. Otherwise, it would just make as much sense as buying fruits and vegetables from Australia just because the farmer there uses solar electricity and afterwards flying all the goods to Germany with airplanes. What will power cars in the future? Electricity from the socket? Or, which I think is better, hydrogen? Or will the combustion engine remain with us and simply be fueled with renewable CO2-neutral fuel instead of fossil fuels? This technology is called e-fuels. To produce it, you need electricity from renewable sources, of course, otherwise it makes no sense at all. You need water and CO2 from the air. The good thing about e-fuels, they can simply be added to fossil fuels and make them more climate-friendly. For promotion and research, there is the E-Fuel Alliance, and Mazda is the first automaker to join it. Of course, a pure e-car has a better efficiency, but we must not ignore one thing. There are also countries on this planet where electric cars will not have a significant market share even in the next 10 or 15 years. And these are, of all things, the countries where the cars are older anyway and therefore emit more pollutants. And if you can contribute to climate protection here with e-fuels, That makes absolutely sense in my eyes. Do you remember the Renault 5? No? Not bad. It was quite a long time ago when it came onto the market. But it was built from 1972 to 1996 in 2 model generations. I remember it well. As a little boy, I was always fascinated by this car and wondered why French cars always have such a strange design language. Later, a school friend of mine had an R5 Turbo and the thing really took off. I didn't care about the shape then. But be it as it may, the little French car has somehow become an icon and a cult car. And, as is the case with all cult cars, vehicle manufacturers try to breathe new life into this cult from time to time. And now Renault is doing the same, presenting the R5 prototype, an electric car that is supposed to bring back the fun factor and carefree character of its ancestors to potential buyers. The R5 prototype looks more like the sports version of the old R5, but the French say it is a city car, so we probably shouldn't expect too much. And there is another thing that's always a problem with studies like this: it's absolutely uncertain how many fancy design elements will be found in serious production. So if it really had a decent bang and it looked like it does now at the dealer, then I'd still be out of the age, I think. It claims to be one of the fastest sedans in the world, yet it usually gets into the right lane on the highway, the Model S from the US brand Tesla. Because, as remarkable as its acceleration is, its range shrinks when you use it to its full potential. And then an extended charging break is inevitably due. Now Tesla has given the aged sedan, which was launched in 2012, a facelift for the second time, and at the same time a new powertrain with over 1000 horsepower. On the outside, the hatchback looks smoother and tidier, and there are new rims. The interior is much more elegantly designed than before, and as a special gag, there is a kind of steering horn that takes place of the classic steering wheel. Incidentally, the VW Group had been considering a similar idea internally for a long time, but now they failed to be the first to launch it on the market. The theoretical driving performance of the Model S, which is available in 3 variants, is already impressive. Even the basic version with the nice designation maximum range is supposed to be able to sprint from 0 to 100 km per hour in 3.2 seconds with a top speed of 250. The plate model with 3 engines and 1020 horsepower needs only 2.1 seconds for the standard sprint and manages 322 km an hour. And finally, there is the Plate Plus model with more than 1100 horsepower and an acceleration that Tesla states as only under 2.1 seconds. The ranges are supposed to be 663, 628 and 837 kilometers respectively, assuming a very restrained driving style. Yeah, right, it's certainly fun to drive such an 1100 horsepower car, but in my opinion, such high performance is only marketing gimmick. For me, the whole thing has nothing to do with ecological driving. And the top speed of more than 300 kilometers an hour can be reached by other manufacturers of gasoline-powered sports cars without that much power. Apart from the fact that the battery probably has to be pretty big if I want to drive that fast for more than 5 minutes. Finally, something a little bit more off the ground. In the future, the Hyundai car company wants to build more than just vehicles for the road. In the new Urban Air Mobility business unit, the Koreans are developing individual air vehicles to relieve road traffic, basically drones, only much larger. They are not doing it alone, however, but have formed a partnership with Urban Airport, and they are planning the first mini-city airport with the Air 1. The model project is to be realized in Coventry, England before the end of 2021. Urban Airport also plans to build electric vertical takeoff aircraft in cooperation with Hyundai, which should be ready for the market in 2028. The concept for the urban airport includes a modular structure that should enable relocations within a few days. In addition, the city airport will serve as a hub for other sustainable modes of transportation, such as electric buses and cars or scooters, as well as landing and takeoff points for cargo drones and air cabs. Yeah, air caps. That's something that's up to now has only been seen in science fiction movies and series. Why Coventry, of all places, was chosen as a model city is beyond me. After all, there are cities that are much larger and suffer much more from daily traffic collapse. That's it for today from me. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, then you will always stay well informed around the topics of cars, mobility and motorsports. Bye, see you next time.